Hey! Has it been a little while? I think it might be. Good evening, everybody, and welcome. Thank you very much for joining me on Dean the Vaping Biker, and we're back. Finally, it's very exciting. Very happy to be back on a Monday night and to have a little chat with you guys. So we're going to take a similar approach to normal videos, normal Monday night live shows. For the first 10 minutes, I'm just going to say hello to people in chat. So make sure you let me know who you are, where you're from, and let me know what you're vaping on as well. That's always good to know. And then after that, I will have a brief chat. We'll bring on Mr. Todd. Now, because of everything that's been going on, I've not really got a great deal to prepared to discuss this evening. So I'd be very grateful if you will have some questions. So have a little think about that, and we'll have the Q&A section a little bit later on in the show, and we'll see if we can get some vaping related questions from you crazy lot. So hopefully the sound is all right, and the picture's all right. It looks reasonably sharp. I'm in manual focus, so it looks reasonably sharp, but I'm getting it. And let's get into it then, shall we? So if you are watching this on replay, thank you very much for the thumbs down, whoever that was already. You can't beat annoying people right at the start of your video. Anyway, what we've got, if you're watching this on replay, just skip forward the first 10 minutes and then we'll be getting into the show. Like I say, I'd just like to see who's out there and what people are up to. So let's have a little scroll. There's been a lot going on in chat already, so I'm just going to sort of start kind of here. Right then, we've got Mr. Spencer in, James Whiting, how you doing? Greetings from Frankfurt. Maine says Cliff82. Hello, Cliff82. Jay Jerry, Tim Dorr, Alex McKenzie, Mr. McKenzie, nice to see some patrons in with Viv as well. Fantastic. Nice to see you. Thank you very much for joining us. We've also got Pud Puffs. That's a hell of a YouTube name. I need to know what that's all about. But welcome. Thank you very much. I've not seen you before, so if this is your first time, join in. Have a nice time. Thank you very much. Paul Sykes, good evening. Merry Vapemas Dean. We're not there yet, Paul. We've only just crept into December. We're not even thinking about that time of year quite yet. Lois Ashton is in. Nice to see you. Neil Thomas, good to see you back, mate. Thank you very much. Ben Michael Deere is in the house. Lee Davis or Church. What else have we got? Where are we? Legion Vapes. Hello, Legion Vapes. How are you doing? Your new space is looking good. A little bear, though. Well, we'll that's a little bear. We'll have a little chat about that a little bit later on. We've also got Johan says, hello, Beardo, Sweden in the house. Nice to see you, Johan. We've got after that one, we've got Tony Jenkins. Good evening from Oklahoma. Have my Basium with a loop RDA. Great to see you, Tony. Thank you very much. I hope you're enjoying the Basium. Neil M. Evening Dean from County Durham, vaping on my Endless Cleaner Stacked. Fantastic. Sounds good. James is saying that the sound in the pick is good. That's fantastic. Good to know. Thank you very much indeed. Scott Bogfoot, evening. How are you? And he's all the way from Newfoundland. Viv reporting in from Coventry, vaping on the Vicious Ant Radius 2 and Blue RSQ birthday present. RSQ birthday present from my lovely brother. We've got, I like the RSQ. I used to use the RSQ a lot. Wolfheart, welcome back, Dean. Make sure you take the camera cap off. I'll try to. What else have we got? Dominic Pelosi, good evening to you, Dominic. I hope you're well, my friend. DVD Most, good evening from Rotterdam, vaping on the Banaspati. Fantastic. Steve Clark, hi from Stephen Helen in Rugby. Nice to see you guys. Steve, have you started your YouTube channel yet? I think you were going to be, you were doing one, I think. Let me know. Favourite couple watching. I love it. I think there's maybe 2 or 3 couples that'll sit there on a Monday night and watch, and I think that's fantastic. Hey dude, Hog V4, the Colorado 40, what? Hang on. Chef Mikhail says, hey dude, Hog V4, the Colorado 52.8 RDA. That's a very specific RDA. Phil Lee, I'm vaping on a Variety, and I'm just down the road near Cambridge. Fantastic, Phil, and thank you very much. What else have we got? Cuz Steve is in from Catterick, vaping on homemade walnut DNA 75C full of Darkstar Athena. Good choices all around there, Steve. Hey Dean, I'm from Birmingham, got the Dead Rabbit RDA on my Wismec Gen 3, vaping some Darkstar Candy Cane from Lee Davis. Chris Peace is very sharp. I can count your stubble. Hope you can't see the weaves. Oh, I tell you. Plugs. No. Even Surf from New Zealand, vaping on my Vindicator with Kennedy 25 and the Basium with the Pulse on top. Thank you very much, Jerry Clark. Ruben Vorster, what's up, brother? My name is Ruben and I'm from South Africa. Been a long time fan, vaping on the Rage and Drop Dead RDA. Thank you very much for joining us, Ruben, and thank you very much for being a long time fan. Mr. Pebble is in. That's a fantastic name as well. Roop78 evening at Vape and Biker and chat from Devon. What else have we got? Working nice turn brightness up a little dark. Is it? Is it a little dark? Is it? It looks great on my... Oh, there we go. How's that? How's that? Is that... That's what you're getting. Hang on, I've got to turn my... There we go. That's as good as it's going to get. Sharp as a sharp thing, says Graham Vincent. John Maritato, John, is from Pennsylvania. Nice to see you. Pudpuffs is from Ayrshire, Scotland. I'm testing out the Canon V2 and got that on top of the Titan mod. Fantastic. It looks great, says Daytime Frank. There is a lot of people. Right, I'm just going to kind of power through now. Here we go. Are you ready? Timmer, good evening from damp Birmingham. Paul Corney, hello all from Love from Hull. Ian Thomas, hi Dean from Bristol, nice to see you. Dean Feeney, evening Mr. B and Mr. T and folks. Andy Fairchild, Bristol, lovely to see you. Stephen James, hi Dean from Emsworth, lovely old job. Matt Towler, evening Dean, Orchurch, Mr. P, Mr. Orchurch. Vladimir, Vladimir Gorodetsky. Vladimir Gorodetsky. Good evening. Republic of Moldova here with Complife and Goon. Nice to see you, sir. Rob Wiggles. Evdros Stavridis. Good evening from Greece. Yasu. I can say a little bit of Greek. Yeah, that's about it. Vaping on the E Petite and Hassan. Nice little connection you've got going on there. What's up, Dean and Champ? Watching from Norway. Vaping on the Bonza on top of the iJoy Zenith 3, says Gort Bull. Cliff82 is in Frankfurt and is vaping on the Geek Vape Aegis Legend and Aromamizer Supreme RDTA V2. We've got David Chaston is coming in from Kent. We've got Muji World from Muj. Sorry if I've wrecked that name, but hello to you. Paul Burford, good evening, Dean from Burton-on-Trent. We've got Eddie Sevenfords in. Hello, Eddie, how you doing? Nice to see you, sir. Daytime Frank, good to see you. Andy Fairchild, Cal's Irons, Fred is from Las Vegas. Nice to see you, Fred. We've also got... Viking Vapor, evening Dean from Bristol. There's a lot of Bristolians in this evening. Dominic is vaping on his Pulsar with the B2K with the clips from Strawberry Fields on it. Mike's Mech Reviews. Hello, Dean. It was good to have a chat and catch up at Expo. Have a catch up. Fucking words. Have a catch up at Expo, bud. Nice to see you, Mike's Mech Reviews. We've also got, what else have we got? We've got Thanasis coming in from Greece as well. Adam Scott Hayward. Hey, Dean. Adam from San Francisco, California, set up in using the topside with Rebirth RDA DIY e-juice, coconut custard. That sounds fantastic. Stan Johnson is in. Just back from 2 weeks offshore, opened all my vape mail and built the VCM Reborn. Having some fun with that. Hope you're enjoying it, Stan. Phil Dinsmore, hiya boss, how you doing? Grim Jackine, hey Dean. Or Church, always saying hello to someone else. The Vaping Reaper, nice to see you. Good evening to you as well. Lassie says, it's me. Evening, sir. Good to see Monday night. Back rocking the Vindicator tonight. Great stuff. Carlos Pigstar says, greetings from Johannesburg, South Africa. Nice to have you back, Dean. Thank you very much indeed, Carlos. Sick Boy is in from Pennsylvania. Eddie Summerford is in his house. Me_vaping. Hi, goods from Antwerp. Long time seeing you. He's alive. I'm alive. Woo. Well, kind of. Well, Mr. Spencer is rocking the vape emojis. Nice to see that. Thank you very much. You do have to be a member of the channel. There's a little membership button down there, I think, to be a member. But yeah, I can't really. That you get a couple of emojis. So you know. Nickname inherited from my dad, says Pudpuffs. Gotcha. I'm a bit of a lurker. We met at Expo on top of the lots of other people who probably came up to you. There was a few. Dave 8, Vape and Biker, for Dean from Tunbridge Wells, TFXS. Karma, correct. I keep wanting to call them the KRMA, Chroma. I don't know. I call it wrong anyway. But there we go. That's that. So I'm terribly sorry if I've missed you, but that was the 10 weeks, 10 minutes done. I've had to scroll through all of the chat. Now we do have Mr. Todd. He's sitting in the background. He's going to be coming and joining me any minute now. But he's also keeping an eye on the chat for us, just to make sure nobody's misbehaving. Luckily, everybody is very splendid who watches Monday Night Live, and we tend not to have too much aggro and fannying around. Pardon me. Don't promote yourself without getting prior kind of being allowed to, because it's just rude, and we're all about manners. So be nice, treat everyone with respect, and jobs are flipping good. And right then, so we are back. We're in the new studio, we're in the new space. I'm very, very excited about this one. I've still got some sound treatment to do. I've got a few bits and bobs. Someone mentioned earlier on that it's looking a little bit, I think it was Legion. I think it was you, Legion, that mentioned it's looking a little bit better. Well, I've got plenty of space going on, which is great. That wall behind me is another kind of 3 meters away or so behind me. So we've got plenty of space in here, which is great. I've got a few bits and bobs to do just with dressing the set properly. Also, I've got to sort out my sound because I'm not super happy with the sound. I've got a little bit of acoustic treatment floating around the room. Then that big old thing right there is a load of acoustic treatment, but it's floating around all over the show. It's not quite doing the business yet, so I've got to make some big sod off sound panels to help kind of make the room a little bit nicer. So that's going to be the plan. So you're going to have to stick with me for a little while we're getting used to that one, but it's more space. I really like it. It makes me super happy. I've got multiple filming angles now, so you can see this one, and we've got other kind of views to kind of keep things spiced up, which I'm really looking forward to getting involved with. So hopefully we'll get things moving. Right, let's have a little vape, shall we? Let's have a little toot, as young Mr. Green says. All righty then. So, is there anything? I'm sure there's going to be other bits and bobs. If anyone's wondering about what's going on with reviewing, then this week I'm getting back into getting some stuff recorded. I do have to unpack a bunch of vape gear still. I've still not got as far as being able to get all of that. So literally all my RDAs, other than the stuff that I'm using, are all in boxes still. So I've got to get my stuff together on that one. And then once we've done that, then jobs are flipping good, and we can get moving. But no. Otherwise, super happy with the way everything's going, and we are absolutely 100% getting there. So jobs are good. Now then, he likes to pride himself on always paying attention and hearing in my voice when I'm going to switch the camera across to him. And fail. Can he figure out how to turn his mic on, though? That's the question.
I'm busy. Go away. Go away.
What are you up to, buddy? How you doing?
I'm just, oh, God, how did I get back to Skype again? oh, there you are. I see you. I can't believe you caught me out.
I'm ready for the poker game now.
my name's Todd, and I've been a vapor for I'm not mad. I'm not bad. Living the quiet life as always. You know how it goes. You know how it goes. That just caught me so unawares. Stephen, yeah, it's cold. There is actually a frost on the roof of the shed here just now. I've got the heating up full, and it's so cold. Yeah, other than that, just, some of us are still doing reviews and stuff like that, and living in small sheds, unlike some people that, I've got.
And we're also in the middle of the countryside as well, if you want to add that. So we're just encased by trees all the way around the bungalow.
Yeah, we're kind of the same. We're encased by that's not. No, I'm lying now. No. We have a tree.
A tree. Fantastic.
A tree.
I put on we need to talk about vaping ASAP, otherwise people are going to start drifting off. But I was sitting here at my desk working away because I have so many emails that I've had to kind of get back to and speak to people with and all that sort of good stuff, because I've literally not accepted any information or any products at all while I've been gone. And it's been a bit of a meh, to be honest with you. I'm not going to lie. It just means that I've had just a fuck ton of emails to get back to this today, and it's taken me a large portion of the day. It's been a nightmare. I don't know how.
I could send you some gear down if you want.
I was going to show a picture, but I'm not going to bother. Yeah, I mean, it's been one of them things about when you take any time off of doing anything, you get back into the shed in your case, and then you've got a mountain of vape mail to get through and all that sort of stuff. I didn't have anything that exciting because I didn't give anyone my new address, so it was a case that that today I just went, right, well, it's got to be attacked. And because I'm hugely disorganised, I didn't have all of my kind of suppliers and stuff. I didn't have them in distribution lists for emails and all of that sort of nonsense. So it was a complete mess. So I had to do that whilst replying to a ton of people, and woe is me.
But hang on. Are you telling me that you get thousands of emails a day?
I get thousands of emails a minute, mate. A minute.
You're so famous.
That's how it rolls, I'll tell you. What are they saying in chat? Anything going, how come the sun's still up and Todd's allotment? It does. Yeah, that light that you've got up there looks badly like you've got a shaft of light coming through your window and going over on your albums.
Oh, fuck off, you bunch of miserable.
No, it wasn't a bad thing. It was a good thing.
I was a good...
Horror stories by Todd. That looked marvellous. Like I said, everybody, we will do a proper Q&A in a bit. We're just going to have a look at a few vape products first. What are you going to say, Toddo?
What are you vaping with? No way.
What am I vaping with? That is a very, very good question. Now I'm going to show people. I'm going to show people because I have the technology to do that. And actually, I'm going to take myself out of there. So, look, you're on the other side now. Oh, that's going to confuse things. So, we've got... Hang on, zoom in. We've got the overpowered mod. I've been rocking this one a lot of late, and this is I've had a couple of challenges with this, and I actually spoke to the overpowered team earlier on today about two issues that I've had, but we seem to be kind of getting to grips with things. I'll talk about this when I do the review, but it's back to working full strength again now, and I've got the Big Buddha V 4.1 or 4.2 or wherever it is sitting on top of that. That kind of looks the business on that one. Ooh. If you go to the edge of your screen, you could have had a little vape on that then. But yeah, there we go. So we've got that one. That one's going to be one of mine. What about you? Go for one of yours.
Oh, hang on, I was going to say, I quite like the branding on that. that's quite a smart looking mech.
It is. It is. It's a lovely looking. I mean, it does look like a really big carrot in orange, but I think with the black RDA sitting on top of it with the orange drip tip, it looks really, really nice. The overpowered thing is patinaing quite nicely, because obviously then that's just the metal underneath. But no, it seems to be going rather nicely so far.
Very, very smart. It does look. Sick Boy just said it does look like a road flare.
Yeah, it's a big bugger. It is. I mean, you know, when I put it next to like the VCM, I don't know. Hang on. I'm gonna have to put it on the other camera now. Hold on.
Oh, it's a beefy unit, yeah.
It's going full screen. It is a big. It's a big beefy bastard. When you look at it like that, and that's a bit of a thing. It's a bit of an animal. But right, some of that, and I need to sort out my my little stream deck so I can just press a button and everything happens. So your turn. What are you vaping on? I'm going to put you full screen so you can show me something marvelous.
Mech wise, I'll go like for like. We'll go mech for mech. Okay. This is I can't. Oh, I have to click back on this. This is a new mech mod from Fakirs.
Fuck you.
Mods. Fakirs. That's a company in Turkey. I've done a few reviews for them in the past. It's 18650, 2700, 21700. It's now. It's got. You'll get all upset about this, but it does say it's the Illusia mech on top.
Right.
But it does actually have a wire that runs from here to here to here.
So rude. So rude.
So it's not, in the strictest terms, it's not a mechanical. But,
what about with the negative portion of the contact?
It's just, I think it's picking it up from the screws running through the body up to the top here.
Okay.
But it's very nice to vape with. It's thumb firer up here.
Yeah.
And but on it I have this was sent on to me by Keith. Keith, if you watch this, thank you very much. The Trillium by Eden Mods.
Okay.
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
Who are now shutting their doors.
They are. They are indeed. That's something that was like a couple of weeks ago that happened, I think.
Yeah, it's a shame to see them packing it in, but yeah, it's just one of these things, unfortunately.
Yeah.
The Trillium, I do like the Trillium. It's an for a sub-ohm tank, it's very pretty.
Yeah.
But it's still, at the end of the day, it's just a sub-ohm tank in fancy clothes.
Yeah, it's the inspired coils, isn't it?
There's a multitude of coils you can use in this thing, but yeah, basically any Atlantis compatible coil, basically.
Gotcha.
I think I'm using a Tobacco coil in it. Could be wrong. Which is supposed to be one of the best ones, but
Not
you can buy a rebuildable for it for about £6. So I'm going to try that and see if I get anything better out of it. Mr. Mottram's just stated there that Eden's not completely gone until January, which is correct. I think they're doing another run of the Maxi tank before they bugger off.
Have they got something called a maxi tank, like a maxi tank?
I'm pretty sure it's an upgrade for the. Is it an upgrade for the Rose? I could be wrong.
Okay.
Not 100% sure. The mod, that's natural wood. It's not stab wood. It's natural wood.
Fantastic. Is it varnished or anything, or is it just kind of polished up with thingy pads?
Yes, just polished. It's real. There's no super glue on it or anything like that.
Brilliant. Good stuff.
Very nice.
Right. So my next thing is going to be La Bonza, which a lot of people are going to be are very happy with. And this is something that I didn't unpack until we got in here and I started to get the studio into a slightly workable fashion. So I've not been using it that long. Sorry if I've got dirty nails, ladies and gentlemen. I feel terrible about the old dirty nails, but I did wash my hands before I came on, I promise. But you know, I've got a real fire where I am now. So I made a fire up for the wife just before I came in. So yes. Anyway, moving on.
Look at me. I'm a man.
I bloody am, I tell you.
I make fire.
But yeah, so there we go with the Bonza mech, and it's got its little, it's got a little tubey bit that you can sort of spin around there, and you can move it up and down. I've got a 21700 battery in there at the moment, which does mean that I've got this quite large gap going on there. So I'm trying to kind of push that so I've got equal spacing from the top and the bottom, and away we go. It's an interesting finish on this one, and it doesn't look like it's quite the same finish on the RDA. So the mech is a little bit lighter by the looks of it, but no, there we go. So this is something where it's quite an old school kind of button going on this tank, on this mech even. Nothing kind of groundbreaking with the button, but it is very, very short. And just to show you, compared to the VCM that I looked at recently again, you can see that for a 21700, that is a very short little mech. So that's very impressive. But I'm having a jolly good time with that one. I'm not entirely sure if these are for sale yet. If not, they will be any time soon, I'm sure. But
see that sorry, Dean, the bit with the skull on it, is that a sleeve that slides up and down?
Yes. The idea is it's a sleeve so you can match where your skulls are. So you don't have, like when you put your RDA on, you don't have it all kind of on the wonk.
Yeah.
So it kind of all goes a bit wobbly. So, you know, it's a funky little idea. It's a bit of fun. And I think he's going to be doing different colours of all of this sort of stuff as well. So I think you'll be able to customise them and all that sort of good gubbins. So we're giving it some of that. But the Bonza 1.5 is great. I really like it. I really like the original Bonza, and I really like this one. The only slight concern that I have with this, from a kind of a standpoint of a lot of people buying it, is that this is a copper top cap on the mech. And regular or people that have been using mechs for a while will be kind of fully aware of like what can be a gigantic pain in the ass cleaning top caps. But one of the good things about this one, if I just go back onto that underside camera, is once you push out the airflow control, it is pretty easy to get in there. Now, I've not had to clean this out yet, so I don't know kind of what kind. I mean, it's kind of the Chinese copper that is a bit of an interesting colour, but I haven't had this go bad on me as yet. But they can be, like proper copper, can be a gigantic pain in the hoop when it comes to cleaning. But this one so far isn't too bad. Yeah, that's one of the things that we're going on. I'm doing a U, and I've got juice absolutely fucking everywhere. But
is there any way to get the gaps out of the actual tube itself, or are you always going to have the copper showing through?
With the Samsung 30T, I think you're always going to have the copper showing through. I've only been rocking it for probably a week, I think. I think that's probably how far it's gone. So I've not had a chance to fully look into it as yet. But yeah, it's something along those lines.
You've had it for a week?
Huh?
Oh, you should have reviewed that 6 days ago, mate.
I tell you what, you know, I am super happy. You know, I mean, I think people generally tend to watch us because we tend to go through a lot of stuff. And it's not saying that, you know, people that throw out reviews quickly are bad. You know, each to their own, do it your own way and all that sort of stuff. But there are things like with the overpowered mod, the two things that I had to I encountered with this only happened after like 2.5-3 weeks of using it, and in a very similar way to the Spade, something sort of occurred with that one that has happened over time, which I wouldn't have had if I'd have kind of reviewed it 1 or 2 days after getting it. So, you know, I'm quite pleased that That's something people know that, you know, I'm not going to be the first person out with a review on a product anyway. So I think that's all right. I think that's fine.
Yeah. I'm saying nothing. I mean, I just put up a review for the drone. Now I've had the prototype for a couple of months, and then you know that. Yeah, then I had the retail version for a couple of weeks, and then I did the review, and the whole way through it they're saying it's Ultim. Yeah. It's Ultim. And then the day I put the review up, no, it's not Ultim. It's polycarbonate. Fuck off. Oh. Yes.
That's exactly what you want in your life. The secret here, Legion Vapes is saying, the secret to not having copper showing is to unscrew the button, tighten the barrel, then tighten the button. But surely that is going to compress the battery, is it not? But hang on, just because Legion Vapes is all over it, I'm going to undo it. Means taking the button apart, doesn't it?
Oh, don't fall for it, mate.
No.
Don't. It's a slippery slope. I get this every lunchtime.
One of the things that I will say is that the skull underneath is starting to patina. Obviously, at a different rate to the patina that's going on the top there. And that's obviously because I'm holding this and I'm not holding that. But that's just something just to be aware of. It's not a negative. It's not a thing. It's just a thing. It's just its own thing. So there you go. Right. But your turn. Camera is going on you right now.
We'll go 21700 make for 21700 make. This time I have a Squonker all the way from Australia. It's from a lovely man called Phil. He's 11 and a half years old, and he makes this. This is from Dingo Vapes. This is from Tasmanian Blackwood, I think it is. Little firing button up the top there. Holds an absolute raft of juice in there. One thing I like, it's got this little cutout here. You put your finger in there.
That is really well thought out.
And it is so comfortable to use.
See, I can't use the thumb firers because I've got a gammy thumb these days. I could only use it in my left hand. I couldn't use it in my right hand. But having that jobby underneath your thumb, that's a genius idea.
Yeah, he's fair. Come on, I had one of these 18s. I mean, I had the 18650, which I think was maybe a prototype one, but it's almost the exact same size as the 21700.
Fantastic.
But this Tasmanian Blackwood is absolutely gorgeous.
That is stunning.
And that's the Skyfall on top by eSmoke Guru. So. Yes, he's Phil's you've probably seen him in my Facebook group. He's an awfully nice man, but one thing I really, really like is that the mod comes in a nice little box like this.
Is he the nice chap that makes guitars?
It doesn't. No, that's Mel.
Oh,
is
right,
that
okay.
Mel that's made it? Mel's. I don't know if Phil does guitars, but he's got, you know how your authenticity card and your warranty card usually just comes in a bit of paper or a bit of plastic?
Yes.
Well, it's a bit of wood. It's actually, he's done it on a bit of wood. Which I think is really, really cool.
It's a great little idea.
He's such a nice guy. Such a nice guy, Phil. So that's that.
Fantastic. So
over to you.
What?
Over to you.
Okie dokie. I am pressing the wrong button. I've really got to get my Stream Deck sorted out. So another thing that I'm rocking rather, and it's not getting a review, so don't go screaming for it. It's not going to get one. But I am rocking the new Canon V2 on top of the Ultrona EOS. The Ultrona probably will get a review, but the Canon not so much. But no, I'm rocking this one and realising that I can't build tanks anymore. I've also tried out the new Mage 2019 from Coil Art. So those are a couple of tanks that I've been throwing out there, so I thought I'd show you guys those. You can see the Canon is a lot stubbier. The Mage is it's just a weird sort of design. This kind of situation at the top here looks like it should sit on top of the metal here. It doesn't look right. It's bulbous. It's bulbous. It's for no reason. It's extra bulbous, and it's got an obscene drip tip on the top that doesn't need to be quite that wide. But yeah, so I've been giving that a go. To be honest with you, flavour on this hasn't been amazing, in my opinion. I have only put one build in it, but yeah, that's not been amazing. The Kyland has given a better flavour so far, but no, I am realising very, very quickly that I'm crap at building tanks. So it's been a while, and there we go. So that's happening on there. That's that puppy. Now, there we go. What have you got?
We can keep this going. This is working well. I can do tank for tank.
Okay.
Tank for tank. We have the doodah, the doofrey. I'm going to have to look at the Statquam, Squape, Enduro. That's it. I'm reading the box now. Chris is going to kick my... Oh, he's white. It's the Squape Enduro. That's it.
There you go.
Yeah, and that's sitting on the pipey from Yog and Dicodes. This is the direct lung version that I've got here. I've also got the mouth to lung version for the tank. They're coming in 5mm and 2mm guys, but they're the same size. So the 2mm and the 5mm are exactly the same size as one another.
Surely the mouth to lung tank should have been on the pipe rather than the lung one. Surely.
Possibly. Possibly. I will say that this is. I've had all the Squapes going over the past 6 years, and they've all been excellent in their own little ways, and some of them have had little hiccups and maybe not, a couple of things that have bugged me.
Yeah.
I will say that this is like a combination of a lot of other ones, and they've corrected all the little niggles that I had. This is a very, very good RTA.
Right.
They've done an excellent job with it. I'm fair impressed. And I recorded a review for this pipe today, and I did a shit job of the Dicodes menu, as usual.
Well, the thing is, the Dicodes menu is the hardest thing in the world to get around.
I'm not even going to go there. I'm not going to go there. But, so, there we go. There's my RTA for your RTA.
Fair enough.
I'm just hoping you've got something with an 18350 or a billet box next.
Well, funnily enough... we've got the billet box. So I have noticed oh no, that's the wrong side. I have noticed something happening. You can see that there is dampness going on the inside. Now, I don't know about you, but my vape shell condensates up much quicker than the Insider did. So I get, hang on, I've got to get you on the camera as well. So I get more condensation on that back door and on the inside, much more so than I did when I had the Insider. Now, I don't know if that was me like purging before I go and take a vape, or when it just kind of sits around for a short time. Do you know what I mean? And now I know you've just done your vape shell review, haven't you?
Yes.
I've not watched it. So
I wouldn't either.
how have you found that? Have you found that to be?
I will say that what you have there with that little bit of juice in the back of the door, and you'll have a little well of juice in the bottom. This is something, though. I guarantee you there'll be a billet box user in chat that will say, "I've never had that issue. It doesn't happen with mine."
Yeah.
But my one is the same as yours. I mean, you do get the dampless plugs, the inserts.
Yes, I've not tried any of those yet.
Yeah, well, you get one that's kind of like made of sponge. It's a little spongy material.
Okay.
And it'll actually soak up a bit of the condensation. And but that to me is billet box life.
Gotcha.
That on a daily basis, you know, once I've changed my battery out at the end of the day, then it's wipe down time.
Yeah.
And it's one thing. It was a question I was meaning to post in the billet box group, was that we go on about MOSFETs being coated and you know, all these. What was that big mod I had? The DNA 200, 250? It was covered in that grease inside it, so it was waterproof.
Well, all of the new DNA boards all have a waterproof, water resistance, I think, going on these days. I might be wrong, but I think they do.
That was my question. I wondered if they actually had that with the DNA 60.
Yeah. The older boards, the original ones, I would have thought no. But the newer ones, I would have thought quite possibly. But who knows?
Yeah. There's James saying just use a bit of cotton. I've been there, done that in the past.
Yeah. I mean, it's not something that really bugs me. It doesn't really kind of bum me out or anything like that. It's just like you say. It's just every now and again you'll just go and give it a little wipe, and then you know, jobs are good again. But it was just interesting that I didn't seem to have that quite the same when I was using the Insider as opposed to the Shell.
Was it a different power? Was it more power you were putting through it?
No.
No. Pass. Not a clue, my friend. Not a clue.
But there you go. So I'm still rocking that. The billet box was one of my main mods for the kind of the large chunk of the house move. For the really stressful kind of few days that happens when stuff gets moved across. I think the billet box was the main one, just because I could toot away on that and not have any issues. But there you go. Right.
Well, they're all saying in chat that it's conformal coating.
Oh.
And all the DNAs should have it, including the 60, according to Mr. Mottram, which is just as well. But that's good to know. It's something I didn't know, and I'm glad I asked the question now.
There you go. Every day's a learning day.
Yes.
Right. I'm going to talk about a couple of juices that I've been vaping on, even though I don't review them. I'm just.
Oh, wait a minute.
What?
Well, we did the segue. We went from the billet box.
No. If you wait, I'm going to talk about some juices and stuff that I've got. I'm not going to review, but I'm just going to let people about in a minute. But before I do.
I take it back.
Camera, it's on you. That is ridiculous.
Right. For those of you that don't know, that inside there, that's the borrow tank or the borrow tank from a billet box. That wee thing there.
Can you turn it
around? This is a prototype. Now, this is the 5050 that is just been announced by Limelight. So you've got your tank, you've got an 18350 battery, you have the RAM MOSFET inside, which if you know your Limelight mods, the recent batch of Glooms and Freehands, they all came with the RAM, and the RAM is inside here. So the ones that are coming out will be Delrin or Ultim bodies, and they're going to have the do you remember the Reborn Limelight? It had the fancy panels, stone panels and things like that.
Yes, I remember that. Yeah, the reviewers got the little mosaic ones.
Yeah, that was it. So it's going to have the same kind of setup. So
we need to put a size comparison. But have you got an 18650 you can put next to it?
Blink.
There you go.
There you go.
So bloody small, it's ridiculous.
I mean, it is, for all intents, it's half a billet box. I mean, there's a billet box with one of Steve's sleeves on it. Yay, go Heart Leathercraft. So there's a billet box, and there's the 5050.
That's crazy. That is just bonkers.
Obviously, any borrow tank's going to fit in here, no problem at all. Your main issue is going to be the amp limit on your battery.
Yeah.
That's going to be the limiting factor, if you like.
I imagine you're rocking a kind of a 1.2 or a 1.5 ohm coil in there, are you?
No, 0.5.
You flipping animal, you. That's crazy behaviour. How many times do you have to swap out that battery?
I'll go through, if I was to use this as all day, then it would take 3 batteries. But that's not an all-day device for me. I would never use, it's like any AIO or anything like that. It's not something I would use all day. It's, going out for a meal, going to the pictures.
It's also, it's essentially a kind of a whizzy, kind of funky pod system also, almost, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, that's, somebody said what build was in it. It's not, I'm using the MF bridge in this just now. And the battery that I've got in there has a 10 amp limit on it, so 0.5 is just on the edge, but it's working fine.
Fantastic. And that's is that a 950 milliamp hour battery?
That's 1100.
Oh Christ! So you've actually got more battery life in that than you have in a lot of the pod systems that you can go out and buy.
Well, that's this year with the new 18350 cells. That's why everybody kind of went 18350 crazy again, because you were getting that 10 amp limit, you were getting 1100 mAh. So rather than buying pod systems, you could, like little things like that, you can. Yeah. It's just that they're cute. And and for all that, it's la-di-da pod vaping.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah. I still think it's bloody marvellous. I think that it will never cease to amuse me greatly that you're a big monster of a man and you like the tiniest little mods you can get your hands on. I think that makes me so happy.
Yeah. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Right, now then, I'm going to talk about a couple of juices that I've been going through. So I will, let's do that one. So I've been on to this one again, the Curiosities. Bearded Lady. I've been having a little bit of this. This is a bit of a coil killer, so I wouldn't get too crazy about this one. Someone handed me this at Expo, so I don't know where you can buy it or anything about it, but this is a sort of a strawberry milk kind of vibe going on this one. Have we got anything on there that says about the flavour? Have we, buggery? But no. So there we go. Look, strawberry milkshake. So there's some of that action going on. We've also got some of this. Now, there is a lime version, which I was vaping my face off with, and got through that bottle fairly sharpish. This orange pop is quite nice. It's like a fizzy orange, and it's quite pleasant. This came from the Nobaconists. So the nobaconists.co.uk, I think it is. And we've got this one. This has come from Dragon... Oh, arse biscuits. Hang on. I've got his letter here. This was this very nice man sent me a bunch of information about his stuff, and it's on the other side of this paper, but it was just written and then just ripped off on the bottom there, and went, well, that's close enough. Fuck it, that'll be fine. But flavours of the dragon.co.uk. I went through. They've got a cola. A KOLA, and it was actually really nice. So, but this one has got a bit of an interesting vibe going on, so I'm having some of those apples in me at the moment. Not that it's apple, can't remember what flavour it is, but it's quite nice. So that's that. And then the last two, I finally found Gizzard Stew's custard, which I'm super excited about because I lost this before the house move and found it during the house move. So I'm sparingly going through this at the moment, but I'm very happy about that. Don't know if you can buy it in the UK, but it's great if you're over in America. And then I'm also banging some of this Exotic Kiss, pineapple, guava, and mango. So there we go. That's all of the jobbies that I'm going through at the moment. What about you for your flavours, sir?
I just realised I forgot that I'd actually The man himself gave me a bottle of this when I was over in Vegas.
Just had to get it in, didn't you?
I did, yes. And I've also got a spork.
It's favouritism, that is. And I've got a beard as well. Fuck's sake.
Listen, I went to Vegas and I was floored for a week afterwards. You probably would have been a corpse by the time you came back.
100% worth it, though.
Yeah, totally. It was quite an adventure. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Juice-wise, I'm just, to be honest, I'm vaping on my Nata as usual, and I'm vaping on my Eclipse, both of these. So that's my Eclipse is by Strawberry Fields.
Okay.
It's you know what I'm like when it comes to juice and flavour profiles? I can give you the following information. It's really nice.
I'm with you. It's like this stuff with this Dragons stuff at the moment. They've got a bunch of 10ml bottles, but he sent me some Nick shots to go with them. But for a 10ml bottle, you put like 2 ml of Nick in, and I haven't got anything to measure those buggers out with. Not accessible anyway. So yeah, that's not happened for a while. For the whole cola bottle I went through, Nick free. Look at that. What was that all about? No good. And I vaped it while we were moving as well, and I went Nick free in the middle of a house move.
Not a good idea.
No.
I mean, I get why people want, with all the labelling and things like that. You know, they want the foodstuffs, and you shouldn't be on the labels. But it really upsets me because then I'm like, well, what's it supposed to be if it's not? It helps an old man like me know what I'm vaping. You know?
Absolutely. If anyone sends me some juice just to try, don't review it. Not reviewing it, but just to try. Then I think I'm going to insist that they send me a flavour card from now on because it's too confusing otherwise.
It's the way it should be.
Absolutely. Right. Well, I mean, we've been going a fair crack of time already.
We have indeed, young man.
If anybody watching has any questions, get them lined up, get them out there and try and make them vape related. It is a vape show after all. As much as I'd like to talk about tech and fun things and stuff and movies and shit.
Watches! I got a new watch!
What did you
Sorry.
get? Go on, you got to tell me what you got.
I got a watch like yours. I got the TicWatch Pro.
Didn't know how to use it and so sent it back.
On your recommendation. And I sent it back after 2 days. And I went and got a Galaxy instead.
Was it the second one or the first one?
The Galaxy.
Yeah, there's two of them, isn't there?
It's the latest, the 46mm, latest one.
Ah, very nice too. Just because you couldn't figure out how to use the TicWatch though. That's all it was.
No, it's not. It's actually quite simple. It turns out that the TicWatch Pro was actually okay. It was simply the fact that I wasn't wearing these when I was using it.
That's when you put on a different watch face.
Yeah, but I honestly couldn't. I didn't matter what watch face I put on it, I couldn't see it.
Bless your cotton socks.
Yeah, listen, you're supposed to be going back to you're doing reviews this week, aren't you?
I
heard it by. What are you doing?
I am. I'm just going to remind people, get some questions in, start them with @VapingBiker or @Todd's Reviews, and we'll see if we can get through some stuff. But yes, I'm going to get back into recording this week. Very excited. Actually, having the little time off has been nice because I'm actually kind of amped about getting back into it again, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I'm very much looking forward to that. It should be great. Right, what James Mason is asking, what do you think of the Vapors Cloud Shogun RDA? I think it's quite good. I think I quite enjoyed it, and the fact that you can get different colour top caps for it now makes it look very, very cool indeed. I'm going to turn off the Monday Night Live site. No, I'm going to turn it back on again, move it up to the top like that, and then I can put people's questions up on the screen. Very exciting. Loco Tommy says, do you have any tips for making a juice fizzy? I do not. I do not, to be honest with you. Mr. Spencer, who's in chat, he may have a fantastic idea, but no, not something that I do. I have used champagne in the past.
I know.
What?
Get a soda stream.
But no,
Sorry.
I've used champagne in the past, and that's certainly given it a bit of a help. A little bit of champagne, a little bit of Coularder or something to give it a cool, and that seems to work quite nicely. James Whiting, did I pose for that curiosity bottle?
Definitely. Definitely.
Right, what else have we got going on here? Use Vape Train Fizzy Sherbet, says LabWorks. There we go. So there's an idea there. Glenn says, are the three skulls behind you victims of your house move? Absolutely. They are my previous neighbours. I did have, and I've said this before, but this little chappie right here is sort of covered in mud and stuff, and quite some time ago I've had more than one person ask me if they're real skulls, which I thought was fantastic. Robert Perkins, do you vape custards? Yes, I just showed you gizzard stews. Yes, I do. What else? What are you laughing at?
I'm laughing at where's Chris's. Was it Chris's question? Sorry, there was where's it? Chris Salter has got a question for you there.
I'm trying to find it.
It's well worth you checking out.
Chris Salter, what do you think of the Basium? Have one finally coming tomorrow? I think it's all right.
Have you reviewed it?
No, I didn't review it, mate. I just showed it off at one point in time. But no, I mean, you know, from a portability aspect, for a fantastic battery life, and the ultimate in simplicity, I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's I mean, it's just for a size comparison.
You can get fucked. Stop it. It does. You realise when you do that, it just makes you look like you've got one massive hand and one little hand.
I never thought of that before.
Right, hang on. I'm going to scroll down now and try and find some things. That I feel that you're not paying the proper attention to the comments.
I am. I'm reading it. Sorry, but I was putting batteries in my Basium, so I thought that was more important.
Right, I'll let you off. What advice would you give to new reviewers? Is there anything you'd wish you'd done differently during your time as reviewers? Good question, Pud Puffs. Have you got any advice?
Yes. I wish I'd never started. If you told me near 7 years ago that I'd be sitting in a shed in my garden doing this on a Monday night. Do I have any advice? Be yourself. Don't listen to the YouTube comments, and don't get in it because you think you're going to get shit for free. And if you meet anybody with a beard that wants to be your mate, run.
So I'd say very similar. Be yourself. Don't try and use language just because other people do. Use the same language that you use every day. Just be that. You haven't got to worry about getting super posh cameras and all that sort of stuff. You can do a fantastic job on your phone. But the one thing that can really help your production values, not that some people would know, but the one thing that you can do that will really help is get some decent lighting. So you can get some cheap sort of soft boxes and all that sort of stuff off eBay and Amazon and all that sort of malarkey, but get some good lighting, and it makes even the crappiest cameras look much, much better. So go for that one, and don't ask people for free stuff. Just get in there, review everything you have, regardless of how old it is, and then borrow stuff off mates, trade things, do that sort of stuff to move your way up the scale if you haven't got the money to go out and buy new gear. But just do what you can. But be natural, be yourself. It's not about numbers. It's not about, you're not going to earn money from YouTube for a long, long time. And even when you do start earning money, it's pitiful. And so,
don't badmouth others to get ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. Stay away from drama. There's no need for drama in this day and age. So hopefully that's helped a little bit. What else we got? Here we go. Me and You 39 says, Mr. Todd, is the 5050 a little better than the other Squonk 18350 from CNC Mods?
This thing.
There you go.
That's actually a good question because they're both going to be about the same capacity. That's about 5 mil capacity as well. That's a MOSFET.
I guess the only benefit is that the CNC is a touch smaller, but you have the bottle in it, but you've still got to put the RDA on top rather than the other one. From
the hardest part is actually squonking with this.
Right.
That's
because it's not designed for people with honking great big fingers, I imagine.
Yeah, it's. If you already had a billet box, then I would say this all day long. Yeah, tough call, that one. I'll save that for the reviews if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
And Dominic, yes, I have the new Squonker coming tomorrow morning from 69 Mods. It's another 18350 MOSFET, but it's actually. It's almost like a normal Squonker with a front-facing bottle.
Okay.
It's a gorgeous little thing. So that'll be here tomorrow.
Excellent. Good stuff. James Whiting wants to know what the album of the week is.
It's this. But it's the anniversary edition that was a present from my mum and dad on vinyl. So
fantastic. Good stuff. Dominic says, am I doing a best of video for 2018? Interesting one. A lot of people do them. I am not. What about you?
I am doing what have I still got? Yes,
that makes sense.
That's. I don't like doing a best of. I think doing a worst of is, anyway, I'll not get into that. I'll just do what have I got at the end of the year that I reviewed during the year, because I think that's, yeah, I'll stick with that. It worked okay for me last year, so I'll do it this year.
Gotcha. Fair enough. The only reason I'm not doing it is because there's so much stuff. And I like things for different reasons. You know, some stuff has got sort of, you know, quite has achieved a level of critical acclaim that a lot of people think is fantastic. But other stuff, you know, might not be to everybody's taste. But the thing is, I find that it's one of those things that just causes contention, because you go, oh, I really fucking like, you know, such and such. It's got dodgy airflow and this isn't brilliant and that happens on it, but I really enjoy using it. And then you get a load of people going, well, why is that in your top 10 then? That's ridiculous, you wanker.
Yeah.
And I can't be cheered with it, to be honest with you. Plus, just to go through everything is ridiculous. There has been a lot of really good mods and RDAs out over the last year, but there's been so many that, you know, as soon as you do something like that, then, you know, I could say that the Saver RTA was one of my favourite tanks of the year, and then I'll get someone go, well, what about the Freemax fucking thingy cloud killer bastard? And so it'll just constantly kind of go. It doesn't achieve anything for me personally.
Yeah.
But there you go. So
I mean, I've got. I mean, and I make no bones about it. I mean, a lot of my, and I've said this in lots of vlogs and videos, that a lot of my favourite gear from the year is not necessarily because it's the best vape, but it's possibly also because I know the people that have made it, which has some bearing on it. Not in the review itself, but whether or not I actually keep it. So, yeah, that's.
You've still got Basium though, so that's interesting.
I kept the Basium because it's the only thing that takes the wobble out the shed. Somebody was asking if I still have the Convergent. Yes, I do. The Convergent is yes. It's in my top 3 for the year. I really like it a lot.
Fantastic. Chef Mikhail says, what do you think of a 0.07 ohm on the 99 mech mod? I don't know anything about the 99. However, personally, I never, ever have had to go beyond point or below 0.1 to get a nice warm vape. It's all about getting the right coil in, matching it up with the right amount of airflow that you want and all that sort of stuff. Never had to worry about getting a 0.1, below a 0.1. So, and when I do use like a 0.12, 0.13, something like that, that's only with either a parallel or a 21700 Samsung 30T. So not something I've had to worry about. How about you, Mr. Todd? I imagine you're all about the low builds.
0.1's a hard short. That's not vaping. that's what I use to get my hair to stick up in the morning. That's not even going to go there. Not even going to go there.
I think Steve, bless him, is working his fantastic Photoshop job that he did in your group into the conversation. Do you think Mr. Todd would suit long hair? And would you ever go for the Odin look? I would more than happily go for the Odin look. But I want to see Mr. Todd with a proper beard at some point in time. I think the world needs to see a tidy one, a beard for a man of his waning years, but a beard nonetheless.
Get pumped. Actually, can I answer a question from Mr. Blue, Mr. Milo Blue? Who actually posted a question on my Facebook page, my YouTube comments earlier on, and I did see it, mate. But he was asking me, saying that basically there wasn't much in the way on my channel of videos that appeal to new vapors. So he didn't watch much on my channel, which is fair comment. It's fair comment. But I've never said that I'm one of these reviewers that does stuff that's for newbies and folks starting out and whatnot. I review stuff that interests me, and that's what keeps me interested in the game. Yeah. There are a raft of people out there that will do the gear that you're looking for, and a lot of them are very, very good reviewers. But for me to stay interested in reviewing, I'm only going to review stuff that interests me personally. Yeah, that's a bit selfish, but
it makes sense 100%. I mean, if you were to do, you could build an entire channel just reviewing pods in this day and age.
There are people that do it, yeah.
Is there? But
yeah,
that could be a thing. To be honest with you, right. Stephen James is asking, what's the best ohms for a 21700 stacked mech? To be honest with you, I would imagine if you're doing 21700s, because of the lower internal resistance than on an 18650, I would imagine like a 0.37, 0.4 would get you a pretty darn warm vape. To be honest with you, I think maybe. When I build the overpowered, when I have it in stacked mode, then that's where I kind of aim, and I'm using the big Buddha on the top. But for me, I think an interesting thing about airflow is that once it gets to a certain level of open, there's only so much you can pull in your lungs. And personally, whilst I like a warm vape, just having and that's the most amount of air that can go in there is. I prefer a slightly longer draw so I can get that same amount of vapor in me, but enjoy it, if that makes sense. So I would 0.35 at a push, I imagine. But it depends on the wire you're using as well. If you're using Kanthal that takes longer to heat up as opposed to stainless, for instance, then you have to go with what you like. But don't go too crazy with it.
I would just like to say to Mr. Dean Feeney, yes, say no more.
Kirk is asking, have I ever tried the Shift mod from Science of Vaping Mech? No, I have not. Never heard of it, to be honest with you. Yep. Not going to lie, never heard of it.
Yeah.
Triple X Vape says, get a dog. Completely agree, 100%. Get a rescue. That's that. There's just off topic, just for a split second. There was something that was really cool that I shared on Facebook the other day, and it's this kid's toy. It's like a little cuddly toy thing, but you get it in a box, and it looks like a right old mess. Its hair is knackered, and it looks.
I saw it.
It looks proper fucked. And then, it teaches a kid that you have to kind of clean it up and, bathe it and comb it and do all that sort of stuff. So, I think that sort of thing's fantastic. But, I know, off things. Right, what else we got?
Mr. Blue, thank you very much, buddy. Thank you.
Todd's reviews. Oh yes, no, you've just answered that one. See, this is what happens when you go forward. I've got no look.
I'm just a guy who was nice enough to, you know what it's like in this day and age in the internet. Most people just throw their toys out the pram and get all huffy with you. But that was a very adult response.
Yes,
which is very rare these days.
Yes, I like it when we get nice people. Luckily, most people that watch me are nice, apart from the knobheads that just come over to the channel just to give me abuse. But that's part of the joys of being on the internet. Robert Perkins, when I presume you get the Borough, you have to get the Borough tank for the 50/50 separately.
Yes, you do. Yes, it doesn't come with it.
Gotcha. Loco Tommy says, I've started reviewing because I enjoy it. It's fun to share what you love, Vaping Biker. You two are a laugh. Thank you very much, Tommy. And absolutely, you've got to do what you enjoy doing. I think Todd and I have always said that once it gets to a point of being, just really pissed off about doing it, then we take a break or we just have to stop, because it's while it is a job for both of us, it's something where you just don't want to. The reason it's the job, we've chosen this job rather than being a computer programmer, is because it's more enjoyable. And once you take that enjoyment away from it, you may as well sit in an office and hate your life the same as a lot of other people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mark, do you still use your Convergent? Did you answer that already?
I did, yes, I did indeed.
Okay. Ivan is asking, are you designing any new box mods or RDAs? You never know. There might be another box mod design in the works. Who knows?
When I see the 3D printer back out getting used, then I'll know that there's something coming.
The 3D printer's over there. It's on the. You can't see it, but it's on that table.
Oh, good man.
But it's gonna be a little bit before I use it, purely because it's I need to put that bed leveling sensor on there and flash the software firmware and all that, and that just scares me. So
yeah,
I daren't. Vaping Biker, still think you and Mark should do a road tour together. You could do live streams from various shops and mod makers. I'd love to do that, Dominic. I'd love to do it, but Mark doesn't like hanging out with me in case he catches cripple.
Yes.
But no, if we were living closer, I'm sure we would 100% do it. But it's very time consuming and awkward to fit in and very expensive. So there we go. Neil Thomas wants to know if we're going to do a Christmas duet. I'm thinking probably not.
For the love of God, no.
Grant McKenzie, are there any compact 21700 mech tubes you can recommend? Well, compact wise, just standing in front of me at the moment, this Bonza mech, it's tiny compared to a lot of the other mechs that are floating around out there at the minute for the 21700. So that's always one to have a little look at. It's not the hardest hitting. I'm going to put it out that way. It's not the hardest. It's Chinese copper that's not going to really, punch you in the face. It's not saying it's bad, and you still get a very nice vape from it. I've got a 0.12 in here at the moment. And it's doing a fine job. It's doing a grand job. So, it's not too much of an issue. Vaping Biker and Todd's reviews. Release date for Poet. Any ideas? I have no idea what that means.
The Poet is the new RDA by Van and Dell Design. It will be out hopefully in the next 2 weeks. That's what they're hoping to do.
Yeah. If you believe that vaping is the best method of quitting cigs, can you suggest or review products that help newbies? We've kind of covered that already. There's the absolute 100% best thing you can do is go to a local vape shop. Go to a local vape shop, have a chat with them, because if you're a new vapor, you're not going to know necessarily what mouth to lung, direct to lung, and all that sort of stuff is, the difference involved with it. And also form factors, if you've not been playing around with mods and what have you in the past, then you might, you might not want like a big old beast like this RevTech box I've got here. Then you might want a pod, or you might want any manner of things. And hopefully, if you go to a vape shop where you can have that discussion with someone, you can feel the mods in your hand. You can some of these shops will allow you to try stuff, and so you get a vibe for what sort of thing you want. Plus, they can help you with your nicotine levels. Personally, I wouldn't go over 12 milligram to start with. Just see if that gives you enough or too much nic or not enough. But that's where I'd go with that one. So speaking to someone face to face is 100% better than looking at the internet on that sort of thing, in my opinion. Right, what else have we got? Let's have another little look for a... Okay, so Dean Feeney, Mr. T would be bankrupt if he had to dye his beard as well.
I'll find you.
James Whiting says, love the Dreamer and it's not too pricey. Absolutely, it's a great mech. I think the Dreamer is a brilliant mech for a whole mess of different batteries. So that's definitely worth doing. What do you make of the Katana kit by iJoy, says VapeTech. I haven't had it, so I haven't got any opinion on it. What else do we get? What does this say? I am an RDA RSA vapor, but I want a good single coil RTA restrictive vape. Can you recommend an RTA around 30 to 50 price? Single coil, I would go have a look at the intake from Mr. Mike Vapes. I think that was a brilliant I really enjoyed that tank.
It's actually it's going to make it to my end of the year video. I rate this very highly myself. I rate it very highly.
Gotcha. Nathan asks if there's any more footage from Expo, and yes, there was just a metric ton of the stuff, but I had to kind of throw things together just before we moved and all that sort of stuff as quickly as possible. So it was. I don't know if any more is going to be coming out. To be honest with you, that might be it. But we'll see. We've covered it pretty extensively in the sort of post Expo Monday Night Live. Pardon me. Right, what else have we got here? What is a warm vape? Asked, what? What's a warm vape? Not a cold vape, Volker, I'm going to go with. To my feeling, I just have a warm vape from a 1 ohm micro Clapton and a Serpent Mini at 4 volts. And that may well be the case. But depends on what sort of RDA or RTA or whatever you're using, really. Yeah. Now then, what have we got here? Hazazita says, are you aware of any resources, groups or forums that are dedicated to vaping info and help specifically for people who are blind? Asking for a blind friend. I don't know of anyone that caters specifically for people, or has a point for blind people, I'm afraid.
I used to, and when I worked in the vape shop, I used to have several blind customers that come in, and find a good local vape shop would be my advice. If they're worth their salt, they'll be able to help you out with anything.
Yeah, absolutely. How's the new home, Dean? Hope the move went well. Yes, thank you very much indeed. Went marvellous. We've still got a bunch of boxes all over the place, but I love it very much. And Sani loves it, more importantly. She is very much enjoying the massive garden and and all the countryside stuff. So that's marvellous. That makes it all worthwhile. Ian Bird, I'm putting his comment up because it's nice. Vaping Bike and Todd's Reviews. Who are you? Todd's Reviews. You guys are great. Just don't listen to the crap. You rock. Well, you see, he didn't put a comma after crap, so it does read that he's saying that he doesn't listen to the crap that we rock. But
that's probably more likely to be honest.
I'm going to take it. Don't listen to the crap. You rock. That's what I'm taking it as. So thank you very much for that, Mr. Bird.
Can I?
Yeah.
Say there, I've just seen DeMillan, who I got to meet in Vegas.
Oh, excellent.
And She's just saying, just wondering, do you think it is feasible to have a mod stand where the mod is floating in an anti-gravitational field using magnet? Don't do magnets, love. Don't do magnets.
Magnets and Todd is what kryptonite is to Superman.
It's just, don't go there. Don't go there.
Milo says, I watched Todd's video today for the Skylark RDA and thought it pretty decent. Is it worth treating myself to Christmas? Isn't that super mega posh?
That's the Skyfall.
Skyfall, yeah.
Skyfall RDA, yeah. It's a Scottish accent. It's you'll have a hard job getting a hold of a genuine one. It's basically, it's only through a Facebook group.
Yeah.
It's my, no, I'm not going to, I love it. I have 3 of them, I'm afraid. There are many other RD, yes, if you can get one. But there's so many other good 22mm RDAs and just from 20, 30 pounds all the way up to 150 euros, you can go daft.
Yeah.
But the vast majority will vape the same.
Yeah.
Vape the same.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I've got, whilst I'm terribly envious of a lot of the products that you have, I'm fully aware that it's not going to give me any better of a vape than the majority of the stuff that I've already got. That's much cheaper and easier to get hold of. It's just
100%.
You get the better building, the better materials, and the better aftercare. That's the main stuff, isn't it?
Yeah. What's the little the GR1? No, what's the one that you made me buy? The little 22mm RDA.
Oh yes, I can't remember. Oh, the Coil Art D Pro Mini.
D Pro Mini, yeah. That's a tremendous, for the money. That's up there with some of the best RDAs of the year.
Yeah.
In my humble little opinion.
Excellent. Mr. Mottram, I've just put his comment on the screen for a little while because he's saying something nice. So thank you very much for that, Mr. Mottram. Hang
on. No, that can't be right. Who?
Mr. Pilgrim Vapes.
No, that must be somebody else. That's
Go and get some if you're a mouth-slung vapor, go and get some Pilgrim Vapes Claptons from Stealth Vape, I think sells them. I can't remember. But go and get they're splendid little mouth-slung coils. I really like them. Got an info if you want help with a 3D printer. YouTube channel named Sexy Cyborg. Knowledge and pleasure for the eyes. Try it. Okay. I'm into it. I'm not entirely sure. Searching YouTube for Sexy Cyborg is going to yield me the best results, but I'm game for it. I'll give it a go. I'm up for that one. Korgith, broadside is Chinese copper as well. Absolutely, Korgith. You're absolutely 100% correct. When I was talking about it, it was kind of this isn't as bad. I'm saying it's not as bad. That I'm getting myself into a hole already. I've seen worse, but you get different grades, and there's some quite unpleasant grades of copper that I've had coming from over there in the past. And I'm not, certainly not one to dismiss a company just because it's in China. That's ridiculous. But there we go. Steve says it's cool to see you guys back. Thank you very much, Steve. VapeTech says to both of us, why is there no collaboration on the horizon? If there was, who would do the mod and who would do the RDA RTA? That's an interesting question. I mean, we're not going to collaborate because Mark's far too grumpy for that nonsense.
Far too grumpy.
But no, I mean, what would, if in a hypothetical world, would you want to do the RDA or the mod?
I would want to do if I was going to do anything, I would do an RTA.
Well, you see, I would do the mod.
Yeah.
Maybe then.
Yeah, you never know. You never know.
Oh, you heard it here first. Look out in the shops next week. Dion78, has anyone tried Bogan Brew's Cola? Yes, it's very good. I enjoyed it very, very much. What else have we got? Have we got any other questions in there? Can you guys recommend a single 21700 box mod? Is the Punisher a 21700?
Mechanical or regulated or
What
Chronic Squonker 21700. They do one. It's a bit la-di-da.
Yeah, it's a bit la-di-da, he says.
It's very nice though.
Yeah. Now, I can't think of any other sort of regulated. I'm sure I've had some. I'm positive I've had some, but I can't remember off the top of my head any that would rock it.
I've not got any.
I've got the regulated 21700 Vicious and.
Oh, there you go. Oh, the Lost Vape Mirage. Good call.
Oh, marvellous. There you go then.
Yeah, that was a good mod, actually. Didn't like.
Right, I am far behind on these questions, so I'm going to fast forward a little bit, otherwise we'll be here all night. Sean just asks if that's your complete record collection behind you?
Actually, it is. I used to have an extensive record collection, but I got rid of it over the years. And then when I got back into vinyl again, I promised myself I would only buy albums that were classics for me, or meant, rather than just buying anything and everything.
Yeah.
But my dad, I was speaking to tonight, just said that his turntable's packed in. So he wants me to take away his vinyl collection.
Oh.
And it's got some awesome stuff in it. So, yeah, quite tempted.
Fantastic. Good times. Am I doing... oh, excuse me. John Cook's asking if I'm doing another Christmas raffle. I'm feeling lucky again. I think John won some stuff on the last one. I'm not. I'm not going to do... I don't think I'm going to do a Christmas raffle. Just because YouTube seems to be all kinds of weird when it comes to... Basically, a raffle is seen as gambling in a lot of this stuff on YouTube these days. And it's... I've already been in trouble for doing raffles over on my Patreon stuff. So, no. I'm probably not. Just because I think... I'm a little bit paranoid, and I think people have got eyes on me. But what I will try and do is, or what I am trying to do, especially now I've moved, is offload more stuff to the patrons who are kind enough to support the channel. Because without their assistance, then I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing. Cameras ain't cheap, and Bogan's really upset at me because he's got a new flash lens that I really want.
Oh, hang on, Dean. You've got a battery light flashing, mate.
Have I? Oh,
yeah.
I have. Oh, right. Well, right. I am going to just scroll through to see if there's anyone that has said anything instantly. Was a high-end car maker doing a mod tank? Says Ian Bird. Not that I'm aware of. There was that company that did a dodgy pod system, but with a car logo on it.
Yeah, the Koenigsegg.
There we go.
As Vape. That was it.
That
As
was
Vape.
the one. That was on. Right. Grant McKenzie, do you know if the Skyline RTA by ESG are still being made? Or are they made
there's a Vitch soon. They're going to do another run very, very soon.
Right. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Steve's asking about the Pulse X box mod. Not one that I've had, so I can't really talk to you about that one. Right, I'm going to scroll through like a monster before my battery runs out. All together. Otherwise, I'll have to go on the top-down camera, and then it could all go horribly wrong. Lassie, could you recommend a dual 21700 series? Well, the only ones that I've had series are the overpowered and the coil art one, and I would 100% suggest the overpowered over the coil art one. Tim Dawes says, any clue where I can source the RBS for the Trillium? You talked about that at the start.
There is a site in Ireland called Easy Smoke. Hang on. I'm just pasting the link into chat right now. Link. There you go.
Fantastic. Mike's Mech Review says Bugatti has teamed up with with SX Mini on on a sponsorship deal. Get away.
Yeah.
Fantastic. That's amazing. Right. I think on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we've been an hour and a half, and I think that's more than enough for anyone. I'm sure you guys all have much more important things to do with your life, and just thank you very much for holding on and waiting for me to come back. And there will be a lot more content coming out soon, which I'm very, very excited about. And I also want to say thank you to Mr. Todd for coming on to this first show. I was absolutely convinced something was going to go wrong because it's the first show back, so it must have, you know, it was definitely going to happen. Turns out it didn't. So, Mr. T, you are a good luck charm.
Does that mean I can get retired again for another few weeks then?
Aye. Well, I mean, I've you know, I've been out of the game for enough weeks to try and let you build up your subs, but it's not happened, is it?
I think it's about time that you just rhymed off your sponsors and where people can buy merch.
Right, there is a merch shop over at vapingbiker.co.uk if you do want to pick up any of that sort of stuff. There is also the little membership on the channel if you do want to get a random little emoji. There's a couple of emojis you get from there, but there is also the Patreon stuff, and the links are all in the description if you do want to support the channel and what we're doing moving forward. If not, that's perfectly fine, and I will pump out as much as I possibly can moving forward. But it's not going to be, I'm never going to be a 4 or 5 review a week person, you guys know that, but I'm hoping that the content that's going to come out is going to be a different quality and continue to be a feast for the eyes, no less. So let's see it. But thank you very much for everybody that's watched tonight. It is very, very much appreciated. We're not going to mess around tonight. We are going to both do a cloud out to finish. But is there anything you wanted to say before we end, Mr. T?
No, good to see you back. Don't fanny about. Get a review out this week or I will nag your ass until you do. Just saying.
You'll nag my ass. Right? Okay. And on that note, I think it's a good enough time to finish. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you very, very soon. Have it larger.